Hi everybody, this is our next training session for MYOB. We're going to be looking at tutorial 7 today, which is setting up job cards. Now, just to put things into context here, job cards are used when we are wishing to set up a number of different, for example, let's assume that we're a building company and we're running multiple projects or multiple building jobs at any one time, and we wanted to essentially compare the performance of each of those jobs with each other. So for example, let's assume that we're building 3 sets of townhouses and we want to get an idea as to whether townhouses 1, 2 or 3, how they compared with each other in terms of their profit margins. So what would happen is whenever you are purchasing items that relate to townhouses 1, for example, you would associate that payment or that purchase with job number 1, for example, that is relating to townhouses 1. And what that does at the end of the day is, instead of having the one profit and loss report for the whole business, you'll be able to look at the profit and loss for each of those projects or job cards. So that's essentially how and when it would become appropriate. You can even do it, for example, if you wanted to compare. You may, for example, have different contractors, and you wanted to see the performance or the profitability of those contractors in comparison to each other. So you can use this in a variety of different contexts, but we'll keep it nice and simple to begin with. So first things first, we want to create 2 new customers that are going to be used and linked with our 2 job cards. So we go to card list and we go to customers, and we're going to create 2 new customers. The first one is Brown's Books Company. And you can put in the rest of the details in terms of address and whatnot. And I'm going to create one more, and this time around it's going to be for Smith's Publishing. So I'm going to go to New, Smith's Publishing. Now, just a side note, it does ask for a credit limit. So just to show you, credit limits are blanked out here. So you need to go to credit limit and hold down here, and then you can put in the credit limit that applies to this particular customer. Okay, so we've done that. Go to the 2 customers. Now we're going to create our 2 job cards. Now to do this, we go to lists at the top here, jobs, and we want to create new job card. So we click on new. The first one is job B1. You can have multiple sub jobs as well. As I said, we're going to keep it nice and simple on this occasion, and we're going to give this one a name. This one's going to be called contract new books. You can put a description in there, and Mr. Brown is the contact, and the percentage of completion. Now, bearing in mind, this is we've just converted to MYOB, so more than likely these jobs are already running, so hence 5% complete. Finish date is going to be in 1 month from today. We need to link this to Brown's Books Company, and that's the purpose of why we created those 2 new job cards. So that's in brief I've done that. I'm going to click on New now, and I'm going to put the second one in. This one is S1, and it's going to have a name, contract, new folders. Okay, so you can put in a bit of a description here. And this is for Mr. Mary Smith. And this one is 10%. And 2 months from today. And the manager is yourself. And you want to link it to Smith's Publishing. Okay, so now we've created the 2 job cards. So you see that B1, S1 appearing there. This is what you're going to be left with. You're going to have, once you start using these job cards, you're going to attract income, cost of sale, and expenses, and the profitability of each of these jobs, and you can get a better understanding as to the profitability of each of these revenue streams. So that's that part. Now we're going to start using the job cards. So we're going to enter in some purchases. So I'm going to go to purchases here, enter purchases. And the first one is picture perfect. So we did this in exercise 5 where we were entering in purchases on credits. Same process. Invoice number 21. Okay, this one's an ink purchase. And we've got an account of 5-1500. And we've got an amount of 1568 and 80 cents. Now the most important part here is we need to ensure that we select the job number. And we'll record that one. The reason why it's popping up is because we didn't put an ABN number in the card initially. So we click on OK. Okay, so that's the first one down. We'll do the second one, Hills Transport. $22, invoice number, freight, $5-2000, freight, amount $480.50, and most importantly, B1. You want to apply? No, we don't. So the reason why that's appearing so that you can understand, MYB has built-in taxation legislation. So part of legislation states that if a person is purchasing an item from you, which is more than $75 in terms of the invoice amount, and they haven't issued you with a ABN number, then the onus is upon yourself to withhold the top marginal rate of tax from that supplier or customer. And hence that's the reason why that is appearing. There's a spelling mistake here. I'm going to ignore that. Ignore all. Okay, so this time around that warning didn't appear because the value was under $75. Now I've just made a mistake because I forgot to select the job number. I'll go back into this transaction, and advertising was S1. that's done. Now I'm going to enter another one in. This time around it's for spotless cleaning. Spotless cleaning. And it is 24 invoice number. Toner is what I'm purchasing. 5-1500. $142.80. And the job number is B1. Select that one and record. And once again, because it's more than $75, we don't want to apply the top margin rate. And HP papers. Invoice number 25. Description. Photocopy paper. And the account is 5-1200. $450. And it is S1. The job number, record that. No. Now, what we want to do is compare the results now. So if we go to lists, back to jobs, you'll now notice that we've got values in our two different job cards. Now, we haven't made any money, no income, because all what we've entered in so far have been purchases on credit. We've been choosing our cost of goods sold account, and we've put one transaction under an expense account for advertising, hence the $59.82, which is net of the GST. So this says to us that at this stage of both these jobs, we've made a loss. And looking at our exercise here, those amounts marry up. So that's all good. And that concludes this training session.